Good morning. I just wanted you all to know how Grandpa, he uses his shovels and he digs and he axes and he does it now. He's crawling in the garbage can for a receipt for me. Did I say forget it? No, he can't forget it. He's got to crawl into the garbage can and the garbage can falls over. And then I said, what happened? And he said nothing. So, anyway, that's my life. Chasing him around. Love you all. I love this thing. I get up in the morning. Grandpa gets up usually before me, and he has his coffee, and I let him read half of the paper before I crawl out of bed. And then I come into the kitchen, and sitting on the table right in front of me is my thing. I don't know what to call this yet. And Grandpa's got it all.
It's your iPad.
It's my iPad. And Grandpa's got it all set up for me. And as I start rising and shining, he goes and gets me coffee. So I have my coffee and my iPad all ready to go.
Your mom lived in Arizona. She lived in Phoenix when she was a child. She moved from New Jersey to Phoenix and then back to New Jersey again.
My mother was very sick. She had TB. So we had to move from New Jersey out to Arizona for the dry climate. And then we came home on vacation, just my mother and me, to New Jersey on a train. And on the way, my mother got really sick. And I remember running down the train and screaming, my mommy is dying, my mommy is dying. And when we got to the train station, there was an ambulance there, and they took her away, and I saw her once or twice after that. She was on top of a building. I guess it was a sanitarium, and she could wave to me and throw me kisses, but I couldn't go in and see her. And then she died. So, anyway, that's when I was in Arizona. And then after she died, I stayed there with my father. I don't know for how long, and my sister was born. Like Grandpa used to call me, Jadrul. It means cucumber. You kids, wrong Grandpa. I'm talking about
at the collegiate level, North Dakota State. You said that's all
your
and Wright being open to
Grandpa.
You said, what about high school?
Grandpa Carroll.
High school,
that used to live behind us. He called me Jadrul, not Reggie. I have a Christmas story to tell you. Well, it's not really a Christmas story. It's a ravioli story. But being everybody's having ravioli, I thought it would be a good time to tell you all about this. Anyways, when I was 18 and Chet and I were dating, he decided to take me over to his mom's restaurant and show me. And so we went over to Sal's Pizzeria. And of course she was very nice, and she asked me if I would like what I would like to eat. And so I said I would like some ravioli. Now you have to understand, the only ravioli I had ever had was in Chef Boyardee in a can, which was like that big. And so she says, okay, if you'd like ravioli, how many would you like, 2 or 3? And I looked at her, and I'm thinking raviolis are little, 2 or 3. And I said, no, I think I'll have about 6. And so she looked at me strange, but I didn't know why. And anyway, she gave me 6 raviolis that were almost the size, well, not quite as big as Mark's from what it looks, but they were pretty big. Needless to say, I could eat 2. So you have to be careful what you ask for. Anyway, I thought that was a cute story. She looked at me so funny. And P.S. When I moved in with Grandma and Grandpa, because Chet was in the service, one of my jobs was crimping the ends of the raviolis with a fork. And that took pretty darn long. I don't know how you close yours, Mark. Probably not with a fork. I don't remember. Anyway, that's the end of my story. Reggie just found this. He's cleaning the cabinet out in the bar, and he just found my picture. Wasn't I cute when I was 18? Nobody'd ever know I'm the same person. Oh well, that's what happens. Look how cute. My own hair, my own eyes, my own teeth, my own everything. All in one package. Now they've disappeared. This was my graduation picture in the yearbook, and then when we went to our 50th class reunion, Bobby Valenga and Reg and Danny and everybody had a button. They made up buttons for all of us with our pictures on it so that we would know who each person was, because nobody looked the same, that's for darn sure. It was 50 years now, it's up to 60 years, I think. Almost. Anyways, I'm just going to use this head when I talk from now on. I like that. Anyways, are you thinking about moving to Arizona? I lived there, and there was one street before my mom died. We had to go to Arizona, and I lived there. There was one street, had a movie theater and a grocery store. It was Central Avenue, and that was it. That's all there was. Few little streets going off to the side.
Not that way now.
So it's a little different now. Yeah. And there was Sunny Slope and all the other little towns that are there now. They're all connected now. They used to be like 5 miles away, each one away from the other. So it's completely different. And they have cactus, and they have scorpions, and they have rattlesnakes. That sounds like fun. When my mother died, we could have all been very wealthy, because when she died in 1947, she left everything to me, which was a third of a restaurant, a cement block company, and a house. Well, she made a will out so that when I turned 21, I would get everything. And the only person that she had to become trustee of it was her lawyer. So she trusted him, and he absconded with the $76,000. Now, $76,000 in 1947, you were like a millionaire. And My grandparents were quite wealthy.
Is
That's
this the
where
best we
your
can do?
father was.
So in reference to the kids crying and stuff like that,
And
that's
that's
something that's
where
not very
I
unusual. As a
was
matter of fact, even our
when
adult
Mark was
immigrants
just
cry
about,
when they're being detained. A lot of them cry
well, I
because
got
they're very
pictures
grateful
of
that we
him in the
rescued them from the
playpen,
brush or we rescued
but
them
he
from the
could
desert.
stand up.
So the crying kids is not something that really surprises
So
me
he
because
must
that's
have
something that we've
been
been hearing for a very long time. And they can be
somewheres
crying
around one.
not only for either being separated because they're being legally separated, but kids
Yeah,
are kids. If you go
it's
to
a
any school during the
huge
first day
base, and they have a
of school, you're gonna see a
climatic
lot of crying kids.
hangar
But
which
I
they
don't. That
take
is not
airplanes and bring
indicative
them
of how
down
these
to
people are being treated.
zero.
Our
I
agents
don't
do
know
a
how
very, very
many
noble job,
zeros,
and
and
they treat
then
people with dignity and
real,
respect.
real
And that's
hot
something
to see if
that
they
people
can
really need to
handle all
understand.
that.
We're human beings. We care. We're
It's
Hispanics.
pretty
We're from the
interesting.
border. We
Once in a
care about
while
the
you
people that
get
come into
a
our
chance
custody,
to
and
go
that's
in and
something
see it.
that's a message that
And
we
I
want
did.
to make sure that people understand.
So, and then
Why
we
do you
lived on
think they
Field
are not allowing
5.
any media cameras into these
So
detention
that
centers?
was
Why the lack of
pretty neat.
transparency?
It
Yeah,
was like
that's very
3
difficult to
apartments
answer.
next
I
to
can
each
tell you for a
other.
fact that the National Border
Lady
Patrol
at the end
Council
had
and our Border
9
Patrol agents
kids.
will not tolerate any abuse. They will not
So
tolerate any
I think we were
violations of civil
only
rights.
there,
If we as agents are seeing that,
might have
you
been
can
there a
guarantee that
year.
we're going to be out
I'm
here
not too sure.
denouncing that on public
Then
media.
Chet
We're
went
going to go to the
to
American public and
Korea.
we're going to.
Dawn, I did have a jumpsuit almost identical to that, but it came up over one shoulder. And then it was a jumpsuit, but it came over one shoulder and then flowed into the rest of the dress. And it was probably pretty close to that color too. It was like a blue with a green sparkly or shiny, whatever the word is. Yeah, that was one of my favorite dresses. I loved it. I don't know where it went through the years. Somebody's closet, probably. Good idea, kids. You are both so smart. Where did you get your smartness from? It must be me, because I know it's not your father. I have 2 brilliant children. I want the whole world to know that. But there is nobody here but me, so nobody else can hear. Anyways, I love you, my smart genius kids. And Sammy, you're genius too. What a mixed up family we have. John and George are Emma's with another husband. Dennis and Harvey are with Emma and my father. So all in all, I have Harvey and Dennis, Cherie are all my halves. And this is hard to think. And who else? And John and George are my stepbrothers from Emma and another man. I don't know who he is. I hope that makes it just clear as mud. Oh, I know, Cherie. I don't know if I told you this or not, but you know, our father must have been a really nice, gentle guy, because our whole family is nice and gentle, and we had to have gotten it all from the same place. And whoever expected that? You were scared to death of him. I never saw him, and nobody knew what kind of personality or anything he had. I know he was gentle. He never spanked me. He did pick his hand up one time, and then he put it back down again. And that's the only thing. That's because I stepped in a bucket of soapy water that he was washing the floor with until spilt it all over the place. And then I remember one other time, we had a bay window in this great big gigantic house when I was little, and my father had just come, or our father had just come home from work. And we had a bay window, and there was a piano in it, and I used to sit at that piano and pretend to play all the time. And one day, he came home from work, and I said, "Daddy," I said, the car is on fire." And he said, "Yeah, honey, I know." And I said, "But Daddy, the car is on fire." He says, "I know, honey, don't worry about it." I said, "But Daddy, the car is on fire. Just look out the window." And he looked out and he said, "Oh my God, the car is on fire." So when your kids tug at your pants, they might have something worthwhile to say. Okay, kids, I'm going to tell you a little story about my son, Marky Maple. 61 years ago at this time, I was in terrible labor. And the nurse came in and she said, "I cannot understand why you're in such pain. You only have a 4-pound baby." Well, needless to say, my Marky was 9.5 pounds. After 25 hours of labor, he was born, bottom first, 9.5 pounds. They took him away from me, and I was alone. I didn't have anybody. Chet wasn't there. I was alone. And they took him away from me and put him in an incubator because his leg wasn't connected at the top. So I don't know why they put him in an incubator, but he was there with 2, 3, and 4-pound babies, and here is Mark, 9.5 pounds. He just didn't fit in there. But I wasn't allowed to hold him. I wasn't allowed to kiss him for the first 3 days. Chet finally got home. I don't remember on what day it was. But it was Marky, you and me alone. He didn't want to come out. He wanted to stay where it was nice and comfortable and warm. And if you looked at me from the back, you couldn't tell I was pregnant. But it looked like I had a watermelon in the front of me, long ways. And I was living with Grandma and Grandpa, Carol, and Grandpa always went upstairs and took a nap from 1 to 3. And then Grandma went up from 3 to 5, and then they both went back to work. Well, Grandpa, instead of going up for his nap, he came over and he sat with me in the delivery room, or wherever I was. He told me, "Don't tell Grandma, or don't tell Mom, that I was here because I'm supposed to be sleeping." And he no sooner left, and Grandma came in, and she said, "Don't tell Grandpa, I'm supposed to be upstairs sleeping." Anyway, they were wonderful, wonderful people. Your Grandma and Grandpa on your dad's side. They were fantastic. And it was just a little story I thought I would share with the whole baby. And with the whole family. He was 9.5 pounds, 21 inches long, and he was a big bruiser. He's still a big bruiser. When Mark and Dawn were young, and I was working, They were going to school. I was working 3 jobs, so there was no time to clean house. I think except a Saturday afternoon. So what we used to do was to make it fun. We took all the jobs, like dusting, making the bed, washing the dishes, and we wrote them down on little pieces of paper and folded them up and put them in a jar, and then we drew one out, and whichever one we got is what we had to do. So the kids enjoyed it. They had fun. I used to work for the oral surgeon during the day, the bakery on the weekend, and the answering service at night during the week when I didn't have a husband. And on top of that, I had to take care of my children and had to take them to work with me when I went to the answering service. Every time he says Peachy to me, there's usually something wrong. Otherwise, he says he's fine, anything else, but Peachy is the one word he uses when he doesn't really feel fine. I feel peachy, Mom, and it's a lie. So that's why I don't like Peachy. You kids were sneaky. All this little sneaky stuff that I find years and years later. Mark did have ticks, but I don't know what you're talking about with tick eggs. I don't even know if ticks lay eggs.
Yes, they do.
And I don't remember Mark having tick eggs in his head. I remember ticks, and we would take a match and warm them, and they would hate that, so they would back out. Or Vaseline. You put Vaseline on them, and they can't breathe, so they have to back out. And then sometimes you just take the tweezers and grab them and pull them out. But Marky, I don't remember eggs and nests. I thought that hashish was elephant poop because that's what you told me. And I believed every word that you told me. So I always thought, why would people want to smoke elephant poop? When Dawn was young, Dawn fell. She broke her knuckle, and I kissed it all better. Never took her to the doctors. And today, she still has no knuckle. It disappeared. Bone in his body. Even when you told him, Mark, get down, you're going to break your arm. He fell down and broke his arm. He listened to me. How about that? I don't know where you learned about that. Hit him with the shoe. That wasn't from me. Maybe the bed bugs were, but not the shoe.
Crowdsourced crime-solving platform powered by the smartest, most diverse, independent collection of detectives on the planet.
Can't stop it. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. If they do, hit them with a shoe. And you gotta hit them with a shoe.
It's 6 o'clock though, Dottie.
There is no chance of that. The only thing I ever did with Louie was kiss him. Boy, did that ever get blown out. And the reason it got blown up so bad is because I was truthful. Because I wanted him to know everything that went on while he was in Korea. Yep. I was being very truthful. Teach me something. Lie. Better that way. And Mark and Dawn with the house, the Hungry Lion, you did have a room that was black. And Marky, it was really little. It was big enough for 2 bunk beds. That was it, I think. And I don't know where I slept. I can't even imagine where. In the pizza kitchen, maybe. I don't know. Do you remember Pebbles having baby pups there? And as one of the pups, somebody got near the pup and Pebbles went and bit somebody. There was another memory. Want to go do Chitty Chitty Bang Bang again? I think there's quite a few things like that. Like the time you went sledding. And I said, let me go down first and make sure it's safe before you do it. And I went down and hit a tree. So we've had a lot of fun times. We made entertainment for ourselves, whether we had any money or we didn't. Driving down different streets, turn here, turn there. So we sure have had fun. When Uncle Mark was about that age, he pooped in his diaper, took his diaper off, and spread the poop all over the crib, up and down the bars. He had fun with it, and then a few weeks later, he was eating the mattress. He was taking the stuffing out and putting it in his mouth and trying to eat it. So, yes, you're going to have fun. I don't know. You were still a little kid with no shape and wanting to be home with Mommy when you were like 18, I think.
No.
So, yeah, she was. No, maybe not 18. 14 or 15. So, I didn't really have any big problems with you. I didn't have any really big problem. Well,
That you knew about.
yeah, that I knew about. That's true. I didn't. Yeah, you probably worse than Mark. I remember all these years. Dawn used to hit Mark, and Mark would hit Dawn, and then Dawn would come running over, Mommy, he hit me, and I always took Dawn's side. Poor Marky, forgive me, I'm sorry. Well, that's very true about Mark. All the neighborhood, because he was a big bully, of course, so the whole neighborhood, if they wanted, Mark used to collect all these bugs in his jars. And if they wanted to get even with him, they would kill his bugs. And Mark would come screaming in the house, it's, Lori killed my bugs, Mom. I'm glad he grew out of that. Dawn remembers it, yeah, 'cause she used to be mean and do the same thing. Who cares about his feelings? We'll just kill his bugs and we'll get even with him. We had a Christmas one time that we strung popcorn and made paper chains with colored construction paper. And that's all we had for our tree. And I think we cut one from the backyard. So, but it was fun. It was lots of fun with the chain and the popcorn all over the house. Okay, just a little bit of, I don't know, old times. Memories, yeah. At one point I brought the Navy in, I brought the Army in, and I brought the Air Force in, and to see if I could get, and somebody from a private school, because Mark was misbehaving so badly, and sorry for telling about all this, Mark, because I know it's behind you. But it's good for her to know, and it's good for you to know, Sammy, that it always turns out good. And you go through the bad times, prayers will be on your side, and you'll come out on the other side doing really good. And so will he. I never thought Mark would come out as good as he did. I am so proud of him. You just can't understand but you can if you've been there. But Mark was in school when he was supposed to be suspended. He was out of school when he was supposed to be in school. Whole bunch of stuff. Dawn, those rats, I keep wanting to call them mice. Remember that little mouse that we set traps for? And we came in when we were in the Hungry Lion. And when we came in the morning, the little mouse was stuck in between or under the stove or something. And he was just looking at us. And you went up and you started to pet it. And I'm saying, Dawn, don't touch it, don't touch it. Anyway, you started petting it, and we came to find out that the whole back part of it was in the mouse trap. It was all squished, and that's why he didn't run away. So, I don't know who it was that one of you guys had to kill it. I know it wasn't Dawn. I can't believe it was Mark. Maybe it was a customer. Yes, it is weird that they have snakes. And the one got loose the other day, just like Duke did that time we found him in the springs. Under the bed. Remember that? We had, if I remember correctly, and the kids can probably tell me better, but we had, I think it was 3 roosters and 1 chicken. I know now you're supposed to have it the opposite way. Anyways, we never got an egg. And the funny thing about it was, Mark, at his teenage years, used to smoke pot. And I found this jar of pot in his dresser. And I said, "What's this, Mark?" And anyways, I knew what it was. And I told him I didn't want him to have it. But it was, "Oh, Mom, blah, 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 blah." So I took the pot outside and I went, "Here, chick, 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 chick." And I sprinkled it all over the yard. Well, the chickens liked it. Chickens started eating it, and the chickens couldn't walk. They'd take a couple of steps, and they'd fall over. It was the funniest thing you ever want to see. Mark didn't think it was so funny. He probably still doesn't to this day. The reason I know it was because Grandpa got alcohol poisoning our first trip to Cozumel. He climbed a tree because I asked him to. And then I realized where he was, so I told him to get down, so he just let go and fell and cut his hands to pieces. He was sick for 3 days, so that's why it's called to kill ya. And the other day, I really had a problem. It's a good thing I have a good friend like Jan who tells the truth, because I put my lip liner on my eyebrows. And we were going, I don't know where we were going. This is like about a month ago. And Jan said to me, "Dottie, why are your eyebrows red?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Your eyebrows are red." She said, "You have a lipstick liner on your eyes," which I didn't realize. And I had worn the same eyebrows because I used the same stick the day before all day, and nobody said anything about my red eyebrows. We went out to breakfast with Bobby and Jenny, and we sat in the back porch last night while Grandpa was cooking chicken on the grill, and I got eaten up by mosquitoes. You wouldn't think that'd be possible with 5,000 bars of mosquito soap in the in the garage. I had a dream last night that I could see. I could see perfectly clear. I looked at Reggie. I could see his eyebrows, his eyelashes. None of the walls in the house were crooked. None of the doors or the window frames were crooked. I could see everything was bright and clear, and it was just wonderful. I should have dreams like that all the time. I've used the soap. The only difference is I'm so sweet that they eat me anyway. So I probably am just a little bit different than most people, but I'm sweet. I named my cars too, but we haven't named this one yet. I don't know why. My last one was, no, it wasn't the last one, it was the one before. It was Perky. What a short memory I have. It'll come to me, but I name my cars too. You have to. Otherwise, they won't start for you. You guys always make me laugh. It's better to be not serious. I just wanted everybody to know, too, when we were talking about marriage, and they said, well, Grandpa and I were the longest, and then Mark and Diana, but there's still a toss-up there. We're not too sure about which one of them. And then when I said I wish, Sammy, you would find the right one, I didn't mean the right guy. I just meant the right one to marry you. Like, James, get on the ball. KW has beat everybody. I don't know how he did it, but he did. So he thinks that quality is better than quantity. But we all disagree with him. So we like to see somebody just say, hi, bye, if you don't have a chance, because we still get to see you. Even though KW laughs at it, he's not going to laugh when all them boxes of soap turn into bubbles and go floating down the street with waves probably 40 feet high of bubbles. And see, if we didn't have Marco Polo, you wouldn't get to see that. Hear me, K-Dub? Just in case. Love you.
We haven't huddled yet.
So far, we're not huddling. We're not cuddling. Maybe we will later on, but we're not right now. The wind is blowing and the rain is coming, but the trees are still out there. They haven't broken. As far as all the men in our lives, we have quite a few gems. All of ours are gems, which is very unusual. Other families don't have the gems that we have, and I'm not joking, I'm telling the truth. See these earrings? I was eating a salad not too long ago, and my earring fell off in my ear, and I didn't know it, and it went into my salad. And I continued to eat my salad, and all of a sudden I started crunching these things. They were really hard, and I couldn't figure out what the heck they were that they put in my salad. Came to find out it was my earring. But it's still in good shape, so I didn't eat too much of it. I don't know. I have got the most beautiful girls in our family than anybody has in any of their families. They're all gorgeous. No. I like the snow if it was warm. Then I would love the snow, but it's cold. It makes me shiver. Now, Reggie loves the snow. He'd move there in a second if we could afford it. Well, I would too, if we could afford it and suffer through the snow, just so I could be near some of my kids anyway, and closer to Mark, and Diana, and Sammy, and Jesse, and the kids, and Patty. Jesse, I'm sorry I got rid of you. I was wondering why you weren't talking anymore. I know I'm dangerous with this thing. I told your dad that, and he said that Dawn is dangerous too. I didn't know that. I thought she was smart, like you kids. Well, anyways, you can talk to me now, okay? Because I've been missing you. anybody else gets zapped out of here, give me a call and let me know so we can put you back in, because I don't know how I did it. I have no idea how I did it. I do know I like to watch all the old movies with Judy Garland and Gene Kelly and the dancing, and everything always ends up good at the end. That's the way everything used to be, good at the end. But now all the movies there's nothing but violence and swearing, and they can't just make a normal movie. They have to have the worst things that could happen. They had fighting and cars flipping over and shooting, and no wonder we're like this. Yesterday I made a banana nut bread. I don't do much cooking anymore because I can't read recipes. And I always mess up. So I get a lot of stuff that I know what I'm doing, so I don't have to read a recipe. But whenever I make banana bread, I have to read the recipe, and I know which recipe I always use. So yesterday I was going to make it. And I can see cup, but I can't see quarter cup, half cup, plain cup, 3/4 of a cup, 1/3 of a cup. I can't see any of them. So anyways, Grandpa helped me and told me how much of each ingredient. And I made it, and he had some this morning and said that it was excellent. He hasn't complimented my food in I can't tell you when, because it hasn't been excellent. It's been passable sometimes. I also like to see Diana in the morning, sitting on the couch with her coffee. I like to see Mark in the morning. I like to see Sammy while she's looking for a parking spot. I like to see Jesse while he's talking about the kids and on his way to work, but be careful driving. I like all the things to stay the same. I like Deanna to tell me about her day. Who am I missing? I don't know, but I like steady as you go. That's what I like. Don't like change. I feel like I'm missing something if I don't see Dawn with makeup, if I don't see Mark with talking to me about the day or contradicting me about something. I like that. I love you all. Anyway, I think I got that word from you, Jessie. I don't think I ever said it before. It must be a mental thing now, because I say it all the time, and I notice Dawn saying it, and Diana's saying it, and Sammy's saying it. So, and Mark. Okay. You've both got no eyebrows because I have no eyebrows. Mine are really fake eyebrows. So, and the hard part is trying to put them on because I can't find this. I can't see if they look like eyebrows or they don't look like eyebrows. So none of us have eyebrows. Do you have eyebrows?
Sure.
Oh, he's got eyebrows. Love you guys. Eyebrowless. Wonder what other part of the family is eyebrowless. At least you have hair. Well, Dawn, not so much. I can take care of it. I will do all the driving back and forth in the middle of the night, in the morning, whenever. Your mother, she'll do it. I am very capable. So don't anybody be scared. I'll be there to take care of everybody. Okay? That sounds good to me. And I can't wait to see everybody. Just let me know. when I have to be there, and I will be there to pick everybody up, drive everybody to the condos, to the houses, to wherever we're going to stay. And personally, I don't care if we stay in a tent someplace, as long as we're together. That's what I think. Your mommy will take care of you and drive you wherever you need to go, so you don't even need another car. If I drive, we might as well just steal one, and then maybe we could have some excitement, huh? Love you, kids. Well, I wasn't going to get on here because I don't like to look at myself without my wig on anymore. I've become very vain. I scare myself when I look at myself without my wig. And then I put my wig on and I feel 20 years younger, maybe 10. But anyways, I gave up. I decided I would just get on anyway. You are my family. Don't love me for my hair. Thank God. Reggie's been talking about we need new tires pretty soon. We don't need them yet, but pretty soon. And we went to the Dollar Tree. We were coming out of the Dollar Tree, and I went up to the car, and I said, no, Reg, look, we don't need tires. Look how deep the tread is. And he said, that's true. That's not our car. I said, oh. So I go to the next blue car. I said, see, we still don't need. He said, that's not our car either. I didn't know there were so many blue cars around. You know I am 80, but when I put my wig on, I look like I'm 70. So that's why I don't like to get on there until I'm 70 instead of 80. I don't like that number. I don't know why, but I don't like that number. But 70 is great. That's like in the prime of your life. Well, here's a little secret. The reason I know we have 5 marriages in our family. We have the old folks, us, then we have Mark and Dawn, and then we have K-Deb. Well, Dawn and Pat, Mark and Diana, and Jesse and Patty are all got married in the month of February. And KW and us got married in the month of August. See, that should go in Ripley's Believe It or Not. Diana, thinking about your sister, I think the last time that I ever saw her was when we all were over by Dawn's for Thanksgiving and the turkey exploded in the oven. Does anybody remember that? I think that's the last time I remember seeing Kathy. You kind of miss the days when you were working, even though all I did was complain when I was working, how I didn't want to work. So I guess that's human nature. It's too cold, and you can't wait for the warm weather, and the warm weather gets here, and it's too hot, and you can't wait for the cool weather to get here. So I guess it's just a part of life. Oh, it's so fun getting old. But it's not for sissies, that's for sure. And you're no sissy, Mark. But you are getting old. I cannot believe it. I still think we're all like 10 years back. I feel like instead of 80, I'm 70. And instead of 60, you and Dawn are 50. And then Sammy and Jesse should be in their 20s. And K-Dub. But it just doesn't work that way. We're all, I lost 10 years somewhere. I don't know where.
Right now,
Grandpa
that baby
and
is
I
home with the
forgot.
family, as Mark mentioned, but the manhunt
We
continues for
went
that
out
kidnapper.
someplace. We were parked in a campground,
Live right now.
and we had the vent open,
That's where the baby was reunited with
and
the family a little bit earlier.
it started raining, and we didn't think anything of it.
Well, good evening to you, Keith, and I can tell you that I
We
just met
forgot that we
exclusively
had
with
the
that
vent
family, that
over
baby,
the bed
very happy, the
open.
family very
And when we
thankful
got
tonight.
home,
Police say
the
that
bed
this is where
was
they found
sopping
the suspect in
wet.
this area, riding his bike between cars.
And
when
then
he
one
found
time,
one of
I
the
didn't
engine
close the
running, got in it, and
refrigerator
took
really
off.
good.
Ricardo Larzabal prayed
And
with
of
his
course, we
neighbor
had the
after
fifth
learning
wheel,
his
so
child
you
was kidnapped
didn't
when the
know
family's
about it
vehicle
until you
was stolen
stopped.
Monday afternoon.
So
why don't we do a group prayer
it
together?
was.
And we all huddled right over here.
We went.
And
We
prayed,
finally stopped.
for the safe return
Went
of the
back
baby.
into the
Police
fifth
say the
wheel,
suspect was riding
and
his
the
bike
eggs
around the
had
gateway
all
complex
fallen
on
out of the
116th Avenue North
refrigerator,
when he came
and they
across
were
the victim's car with
smashed
the engine
all
running.
over the floor.
Detectives tell us the father ran back
Nice,
inside to grab his
slimy
wallet.
eggs.
When he returned,
That was
the car
even
was
more
gone.
fun. And you kids are all wonderful. I'm so proud. What a good crop. Well, everybody, you're all talented. Don't know where you got it from. But I'm proud of you. And I love you all. Grandpa is reading the ads in the newspaper. And he said, "Here you go, Dottie. Here's a tent for $30. And there's a blow-up mattress for, I don't know how much he said." And I said, "Well, what am I going to do with a tent? I don't want a tent." He said, "You told me one time years ago that you would live in a tent with me." He said, "And beans, we can't get the camper. How about a tent?" He's nuts. It rained and rained and rained. Kind of like the time when Dawn and Pat and Sammy, when everybody was there, Heather and Jenna and K-Dub in the condo, and the rain. And Heather and Pat went out and sat in the rain, and went in the water in the rain. Only this rain was not just rain. This was like waterfalls.
Okay.
Am I talking?
Now talk.
Hi, kids. This is something I'm not supposed to see until my birthday, but I didn't read the sign. So I have to share it with you, even though it's not my birthday yet. Anyway, Mark, you thought you had it made. But Dawn happened to come along and try to outsmart you, which is normal for the two of you. So she sent me this other one. Is it on there?
Yeah.
So now I have to put a half a cup of coffee in one cup and a half a cup in the other. This way there will be no hurt feelings. Love you. I guess I'm not too lucky. I guess I never have been. And I think I pass that on to you guys, except that we're very, very, very rich in health and love, especially love. We have more love than most families do. So that makes me figure I'd rather be in my shoes than his shoes. I danced with Grandpa, and we did a slow dance, and we did a half-assed.
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 Yeah, half-assed dance. Kind of like a jitterbug. And when I left the therapy, the hospital, they said to me, "What's the one thing you really are striving for?" And I said, "I want to be able to jitterbug." And they said, No, I don't think that will ever happen. And I said to them, bet me. So if the hospital wasn't so darn far away, I would go if I knew that the people that took care of me were there, and show them I could jitterbug. I believed that you guys were licking the salt lick. Just like with the elephant poop, Mark, that I thought was hashish. Until Sammy said, and she put it in my mind, Sammy said, I'm not even sure whether you licked it or not. And then I started thinking, and I figured they didn't really lick it. She's right. I know she's right. And I believed it. And to this day, 80 years old, and I'm believing my kids' stories about licking salt rocks. And I know you didn't. I know you didn't. I still can't believe that you guys are pulling the wool over my eyes still this time in my life. I should be smarter. Sammy, you're much smarter. Should have known they didn't lick. They're too smart for licking a salt rock. Okay. But you guys make me laugh, and then you don't even tell me the truth. And say, well, we were only kidding, Mom. No, you don't tell me that. You don't say one word about that. You just let me keep on believing that you guys are licking the salt lamp. Dawn said she washed hers first. You two are cuckoo. Sammy, you're just a smart one. I am a mother too, so I think mothers worry more than fathers, and I think that Diana worries too. She just don't let you know. So I know Dawn worries, but it's in a different way than you worry, and probably not as bad as me. And I do trust God. It's just that I know that one of these days He's going to say, okay, your time is up. And I don't know. I ain't not worried about dying. I'm just worried about how I'm going to die. Anyway, I was making the bed the other day, and in the bedroom are two boxes that we've got to put our ashes in. And I saw them. When we got them, we just put them in the closet. I haven't seen them since. It's been a couple of years. And I looked and I thought, oh, I know I won't be there, but I don't even like the idea of my ashes being in a box. I'm going to be spread across the mountains. Do you know how old that makes me? Jeepers creepers. And I don't know where the years went. They sure flew by fast. Here now we have, everybody is grown up and the new generation is growing up. And it just goes in a blink of an eye. I love you all. Mark, you have quite an accomplishment. You have taught Jessie, Sammy, Dawn, all a very skilled job. Not too many people can say that. I can say I taught some people some pizza. That's not a very big accomplishment. But you, my son, have really accomplished a lot of teachings And Dawn, I'm so proud of you too. You have done many, many things in your life, including electrician, fireman, never afraid to do anything. Maybe you'll settle down without being fireman and running into burning houses and stuff like that. That's good. I'm liking that. Sammy, you have gone from different kinds of jobs. That all takes smart stuff. I have a very smart family. And Jesse, you know more than your dad because he told us that. So that's something to really be proud of. Because like Dawn called your dad a professional and an artist. So you must be a professional, an artist, and now you're doing cabinets. So I got to find up a name for that. Patty, you have done a wonderful job raising 4 kids. I know Jesse helped, but you were there most of the time. Diana, you did a wonderful, wonderful job of raising Mark so that he could raise everybody else. I love you. Who am I forgetting? Patrick. Patrick, you are a laugh in everybody's life. Every time you're around, you're always making fun of something and everybody is laughing. That's a gift. And you can stand up in front of a whole bunch of people in KW too. Amazing. I can't stand up in front of 2 people. I could at the restaurant, but I can't anymore. Let me see, Sammy, Jesse, Dawn, Deanna, a teacher. Amazing. You teach all these kids to do things that Mark can teach them after they get older. Pretty smart. I would say we have a really, really smart family. Why we're not all rich? That part I can't tell you. But we are rich in love, and we are rich in caring, and so many more worthwhile things. Love you all. If I forgot somebody, I'll remember and I'll come back on. Brain's getting old. Or we're having too many kids. That might be it. Love you all.